Hey, man.
What's up?
Have you ever heard of this guy?
Hey, man.
You describe him for our audio listeners.
This is what's his last name? Jinping? Xi Jinping?
Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping. Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping. Yeah, this is the
Wait, are we learning about
Archduke of
China?
China.
The what of China?
Archduke.
What is his? He's the president, right? Like, is that what the title
no,
is?
The title isn't president. The title, I mean, he's the president is what it is. But the title is, let me see, what do they call it?
It's president.
They call it the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party is what he is.
Okay. Are we learning about the Chinese Communist Party?
No, we're learning about Xi Jinping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so sorry if you listen to this
Pretty
in China.
light episode.
Sorry if you listen to this in China because you're not going to be able to. This will last, I don't know, a couple hours before they censor it over there because we're going to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
That's crazy what I'm saying. Food, life, labor, another one. And fleas. Things I learned last night. So she was in a plane and aliens took over his flight and they were like, we have a leader for the Chinese Communist Party. And he was like, what is that? That's how he talks. What is that? The Chinese Communist Party? And they were like, yes. This is all history.
Yeah.
And then the mud floods happened.
A lot of people don't know this.
According to a girl I had a big crush on. Here's the thing, man. Did we talk about that on the show already? Did we already talk about it? Okay. Good.
We don't have
Just
to talk about it again.
I mean, she's not going to listen to it.
I don't know. She might.
What if she does? You know who you are.
Yeah, I keep screenshotting your stories to send them to Jaron. And then you were like, yeah, you know Instagram tells you when you screenshot.
I don't know if it does, though. Does it?
I
thought it did at one point. It was like, this person screenshotted your story. But anyway.
Yeah, I've screenshot all of her stories just to send them to you.
I love that. And then they're seeing your camera roll. That's crazy. All right.
What are friends for but to screenshot stuff? Well, yeah, you want to talk about Xi Jinping, I guess?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so Xi Jinping, he was born in 1953, Beijing.
Okay.
June 15th, Xi Jinping is born. This is his father. His name is Xi Jinping. Very significant person in the history of China. For more than the fact that his son is the current president.
Right.
Because he was a part of the Communist Revolution. And so he went with Mao Zedong. There's a lot of names in this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to remember all of them. So it's halfway through this.
Is it another episode where none of these names are really that relevant? You can just say his dad?
Yeah, I guess you're right. All right. Yeah, we can do that. So his dad and Mao, we all know Mao.
Yeah.
His dad and Mao were leading like generals in the revolution. And they ended up his dad, Xi's dad, ended up being a person who housed Mao during the revolution and gained a ton of favor with Mao and ended up becoming a key figure in Mao's party when Mao took over as the president of China after the revolution. And his role...
What year was the revolution?
It was in the... I believe it was
2012?
No. Not even close. I think it was like the 30s. Yeah.
Okay.
1930 to 36, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah. And so his dad, Xi, they're both Xi. Xi's last name. His dad, Zhang Jun. He rose to a leading role in the government.
None of that matters, by the way.
I just think it's confusing if I'm just saying his dad. I'm confusing
at
myself
all.
saying his dad, so I feel like I have to give you his name. Xi's dad he gets a leading role in the military. He's a part of a couple roles.
Okay.
He ends up moving up in the party, the new Chinese Communist Party, to a key role under Mao's government, and all the way to a point where he's a part of what's called the 8 Elders, which is essentially the top of the government.
Which is pretty sick.
Yes, very sick. Also, they also go by 8 Immortals.
Honestly, can we also talk about how them being called the Founding Fathers is pretty sick? And they weren't doing it for a branding thing or whatever, but that goes pretty hard.
I don't think they called themselves the Founding Fathers.
I know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. They weren't like, hey guys, we're the Founding Fathers.
Yeah.
But I'm saying whoever did that, even the name, like even whoever named them that, wasn't doing it to be like a Big Brother Alliance name. Like, what if we're the Founding Fathers? You know, like they weren't trying to be cool.
Yeah. But Founding Fathers does go pretty hard.
Founding Fathers is sick.
That is, I've never thought about that, but you're right. That actually does go pretty dang hard.
You know?
Yeah.
It's the alliteration. And then what, the 8 Elders?
The 8 Elders, yeah. They go by the 8 Elders. Or
pretty sick.
They're also sometimes referred to as the 8 Immortals, which turned out not to be true. But
spoilers.
But Mao
turned out it was only 2 of them that were immortal. The 2 Immortals.
The 2 Immortals.
The Immortals. I guess. You don't even have to put 2. Yeah. S implies that it's plural. Huh.
So things were going great until the Cultural Revolution, which is when Mao was like, hey, what if everybody here thought exactly the same way as I do? And then he just basically killed everybody who disagreed with him.
Yeah.
Xi was one of those. He was consistently... he had disagreements with Mao over his handling of land rights, and he consistently was pretty outspoken publicly about how he thought that Mao was handling land rights incorrectly. And as a response to this, when the Cultural Revolution kicked off, one of the big things that happened in the Cultural Revolution is they did these like public embarrassment things. And so people who disagreed with Mao, specifically people in like the party, like at the top of the government, they would pull them out into the streets and parade them through the streets, and everybody would have to like boo them and like say how dumb they were in public. And if you didn't go along with it, you became one of the outcasts too.
Yeah.
And so like Xi Jinping was a part of this, where he watched his dad get paraded through the streets, and he had to like make a decision.
But what year is that?
This would be, let me see, the late 60s, 68, 69. And so Xi Jinping watches, he's a teenager, watches as his dad's paraded through the streets. His mom like renounces him, his father, and is like making fun of her dad. And then it starts as like ridicule, and then it turns into like beatings, and then they get outcasted. So I say make fun of, that's not really what was happening. It was like public ridicule, defamation, beating, and then kicked out of the city to be an outcast. And
so his dad was outcasted.
His dad was outcasted.
Okay.
And so this was a drastic change in Xi's life, because Xi's whole childhood up to this, he's 15 when this happens. His whole childhood, he's living in basically like palaces, because he's the top of the government. And so he's got everything at his fingertips. He's got the world before him. They've got all this absolute power. And then all of a sudden, it's just stripped away from them. And he is then shipped off to go work in a labor camp, Xi Jinping, because his dad was ousted. And so he gets shipped off too into the countryside to work at a labor camp. The name doesn't matter. He worked at a labor camp in some village where he... and he was excited.
We love growth. We love watching someone step into the new person that they are. You go, King.
Yeah, thank you.
That was really fun to watch. I will make Tim a good podcaster if it takes me 10 years. I'll tell you what.
I got good for a little bit there, and then I stopped.
I know. We all know. We've all been sitting here being like, whoa.
Whoa, what happened?
Tim was, whoa.
If you go back about 100 episodes.
You got the opposite of the yips. Good. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like you accidentally got good for like 2 years, and then you were like, ah.
The opposite of the yips. I got the pies? Peas? How do you yips?
Yeah, he still got it.
Peas.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was, it's still there.
Him trying to go pia pia pia. This is worth our time.
He's got the yips.
I'm sorry we made. Hey, well, I'm sorry we made a whole tangent. You made a good move, and then I wasted
then a lot
the
of
same amount of time.
moves.
You know what? That's on me. Okay, so he gets sent at 15. He gets sent to a labor camp.
Yeah, and he actually was excited about it. I know we just said we should, but he genuinely was excited because he
Did he not know what it was? Like he not know the reality of what it was?
I don't.
Or was he
know.
like finally some adversity?
No, it wasn't that. He was CCP through and through. So he was like he
was like,
staunchly
this is
believed,
part of it.
Yeah, in like Maoist thought, and he staunchly believed that like what they were doing in these camps was a good thing. And so he thought he was going to learn some things. He thought, oh, this is going to be a good educational experience for me. This is going to strengthen my party alliances, and it's going to be a great thing.
And then he learned that this is bad.
Well, it's very interesting because there's a quote. I'm going to pull up the quote, but it's very interesting because he talks about it. He almost talks about it like with like this nostalgia, like it was like a good time for him, but he also recognizes it wasn't a good time. So it's very interesting hearing him kind of like balance his opinions on that era of his life, because on the one hand, he does feel like it was valuable to him. Like he learned a lot of stuff, like he grew a lot, and it strengthened his opinion of the country. But on the other hand, it was abysmal conditions. Yeah. And so what he did not expect was how bad the conditions were going to be and how difficult it was going to be to live in that environment.
Okay.
He
thought they were treating him better?
Yes. Yeah, he definitely thought they were treating them better. I don't think he thought that they were treating them well, but I don't think he thought that they were treating them as bad as they actually were treating them.
Yeah.
He actually was living in a cave while he was in the labor camp. That's where they had them, just in a cave underground, all the laborers. And so I don't think he expected that. And he, as we mentioned, he came from literal palaces to living in a cave.
Right.
So it was a shock for him for sure. But he calls it the 5 hurdles. He's like, it was a great time because I had to learn to overcome the 5 hurdles, which were flee, food, life, labor, and thought. And so he had to learn to overcome those 5 things, which were fleas.
That's what I was wondering. Is fleas like...
Yeah, literal fleas. So you had to...
I have overcome 5 obstacles in my life. Hunger. Tired.
It's food, life. So obviously, like you could die. Labor, hard work.
Labor.
Thought is like dangerous thinking and doubt and things like that.
And
Fleas.
fleas. That's crazy is what I'm saying. Food, life, labor. Another one.
Another one. Thought.
And fleas. I could have thought, food, thought, the other 2, fleas. Every morning,
the hard part.
I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna try to take on the 5 hurdles.
Yeah, I need to find the 5 hurdles today. Every time, like you go somewhere and like they give you some bad food, you're like, hey, thank you for helping me overcome one of the 5 hurdles today.
I welcome this challenge. Thank you.
So he does 6 years in this labor camp, and then he goes back to Beijing to study chemical engineering. I don't know exactly how this works out for him. Like I do know that this Cultural Revolution, there was this thing where it's like you would have to serve in these labor camps until the Maoists were like, okay, yeah, you're on the right side. And so it was like until you could.
So the labor camps were a way of breaking you.
It was re-education through labor.
Got it.
It was, yeah. And so I think what happened is they came and they like would quiz everybody, and they're like, okay, yeah, you seem to get it.
And were the 5 hurdles what they were teaching, or is this like
I actually don't
Xi
know
Jinping
that.
going, there are 5 things that are hard about this? Like, you know?
I don't know for sure, but
if they were like, you must overcome the 4 hurdles, And he goes, they're like, yes.
You forget the
And he
fifth.
goes, there's a fifth one.
There's one more you're forgetting.
There's one more.
And then he tells them, and they're like, oh, come with us to Beijing. And they parade him through town. They're like, this is the man who found the fifth hurdle.
The flea man.
The flea boy.
Flee, flee, flee.
Flea.
Flee, Jinping. Yeah, well, I don't think this is going to get played in China, dude. I don't think they're going to let this
I
play.
think they're going to be cool with this.
I don't think they're going to be cool with it. Okay.
So in 75, he goes back to Beijing to study chemical engineering. They're
Which
like,
that feels like a pretty big jump. I mean, like, it's college free at this point, I guess.
I don't know, actually.
Because communism?
I mean, here's what's really interesting about the Chinese Communist Party, and honestly, most successful forms of communism in the world is they're communist-ish. They're like communist light. Like they take a lot of those thought processes, but they're also dictatorships.
Yeah, of course.
And so like they don't actually function the way a lot of communist ideology.
Unlike what we live in, where the government has no true power and the dictators are the people who have the most money, i.e. Sam Altman and Larry Ellison and Larry Ellison and Elon Musk. But like, who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. So like in theory, it would be. In theory.
Sure.
But in practice, probably not. I don't know the actual answer to that, but probably not. What it probably was it was free if you
were aligned with the party.
Boxes.
Yeah. It was free if they decided it was free for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so he goes to Tsinghua University where he studies chemical engineering. And then he gets a job as a military aide for the Central Military Commission. I assume working in chemical engineering stuffs. Serves in that role for a small period, 3 years, before the what was interesting.
Yeah, I'd be curious. We need to look up how the college stuff works in China.
Yeah, I don't
even now.
Yeah, I don't know now either. I'm not sure. But what was interesting is they had this thing. I can't remember the term for this. Like, I think they called them like young princes or something like that. But there was this thing where you had these people who went through the communist revolution and they had the Maoist thought and they had some sort of connection to the party. And so for Xi Jinping, it was his father who was one of the 8 immortals. Wasn't actually immortal. Now he's an outcast somewhere. But he had a connection, so he was considered one of the young princes. And so the young princes, they kind of had this interesting thing where they were all vying to take over the roles and enter into these high government positions.
Okay.
And what typically would happen with these princes,
even though his dad was an outcast at this point, he was able
to fight his way back through his re-education and through accepting the Maoist doctrine. And so he and all the young princes, what typically they would do is they would go into Beijing and they would fight for these limited set of government positions in Beijing. But Xi Jinping, he was thinking a little bit outside the box. He said, look, there's a lot of competition here in Beijing. And he's like, but China's a big place. And there's not a lot of competition in the other places. So he decided to go to a rural community.
You got fleas going on? What's going on with you?
What are you talking about?
You're just really... You're literally over here like...
I'm scratchy. Hey, thanks for watching our show. If you like it, a great way to help out is by being a Patreon supporter. Doing that helps make this show possible, but it also gets a lot of perks for you. You can get every episode a week early ad-free. You get access to a Discord where you can meet a lot of other people who love the show and actually hang out with Jaron and I every month on a hangout. And we're also in that Discord chat all the time, talking with people, talking about episodes and just random stuff in life. It's super fun. There's a way to get birthday messages, a free gift, merch discounts in there. So there's a lot of really great reasons to be a Patreon supporter. You get a lot of benefits out of it. And it also makes the show keep happening. So if that sounds great to you, you can go to support.tilln.com or tilln.com/support, or just tilln.com and search around until you find the links and become a Patreon supporter. We really appreciate you doing that. But if not, right back to the episode, right? So he goes to this place called Hebei. He goes to Hebei, which is like a rural town where he becomes the leader of the Communist Party in that county.
Okay.
I guess they call it the deputy leader. And he serves.
And how do you do that? Does he just show up to town and he's like, hey guys,
I'm in charge now. Well, it's one of those things like the princes had this opportunity to fight for these positions. And so they would kind of campaign for them whenever an opening opened. So my assumption is, and there's not a description of how this happened, but my assumption is there was an opening in this province.
Sure.
He saw it, and instead of vying for something in Beijing, he's like, let me go take that. And so he went and he took that. And he served in that role for 3 years, was really successful in that role. The people in that town loved him. All this is kind of up for debate. But allegedly, the people in that area loved him. They think he did a great job. And when the term ended in 85, he then was like, okay, I'm going to move to a slightly larger province because now I've got a resume.
Right.
And so he took that resume to the slightly larger province to Fujian, which was a manufacturing hub. And he takes a 17-year stint as the deputy leader of the party there. And while he's there, very similar thing, like proposes this whole overhaul of their infrastructure and all of their systems that they have in the whole province. He gets married to a singer, which is interesting. I never knew that he was married to like I don't know. I don't even know if I ever knew he was married, honestly. But then in 2000, he becomes the governor of that province. So he gets like a promotion. And then 2002, he goes to a slightly larger province neighboring that city, and he stays there until 2007. And so what's really interesting is all these princes were over there fighting for power in different areas all over Beijing.
But he spent time building his resume.
Yeah, in different areas. Meanwhile, all this stuff is happening, and right when he graduates from college, Mao dies. Right after he graduates from college. When Mao dies, he's replaced by a new leader, and the new leader basically says, hey, all that Mao stuff, like it kind of got us out of the 100 years of, they call it like the 100 years of embarrassment, something like that. And we're in this new era of China. But the Mao thing, a little dark, kind of a dark day in our history. We're going to kind of clean up this whole thing. So they put together this whole rule, this whole new system of government where no one person has the concentration of power. It's a rule by committee. And so there's this 8-person committee at the top of
What year did Mao die?
76.
Okay.
And so it's now this, I can't remember the exact phrase, I think communal rule or something like that. But there's rule by committee. And so there's an 8-person committee that's in charge of the whole government. No one person has all the power. There's one person that's like the top of the committee, but they don't have power. Like they don't have control over everything. Kind of similar to where we have the 3 branches of government, but much more dispersed. There's 8 there's 8 people with.
Is it?
There's 8.
Is it similar?
There's 8 people.
Kind of similar how we have checks and balances.
Yeah, but
anyway,
it's similar because they had 8 people with very distinct roles who had charge over 8 specific parts of the government and can control the things that they can control.
Right.
They couldn't influence the other portions. There was a person who was technically in charge, but it was more in like title than anything. Like they weren't really in charge.
Right.
Similar-ish, depending on the company, but similar-ish to a corporate board.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have a chair, and that chair technically is in charge, but at the end of the day, if the chair does something that the rest of the board disagrees with, they can be overruled.
Right.
And they can be ousted in most corporations. Similar concept. And so the government of China vastly changes during this era. Vastly changes ish. It's still the Communist Chinese Party. There's still a lot of things like that, but it's becoming a lot less restrictive. There's a lot less human rights violations. It's a lot more free. And so what's really, really interesting is Xi is watching all this stuff happen. He's a person whose father was outcast. He himself was sent to a labor camp. He had gone through fleas and everything. And he watches all this stuff happen and he thinks it's a bad thing. And he's like frustrated that the government is like
departing from.
Yeah, because he thought all that stuff was good, even though it was really like he got the brunt of it. Not necessarily the brunt of it, but he faced a lot of difficult times underneath that. He thought that those were still good things, and he still adopted that Maoist thought through all of that and was like strongly committed to it. So in 2007, shockingly, he had built up enough of a enough of a resume that he was appointed party chief of Shanghai, which is now he's in like the core of the government.
Right.
And as a part of that, by the end of that year, he gets put in one of the 9 members. It's now 9 members of the Politburo, which is that top standing committee
Right.
that is in charge of everything. By the following year, he's named vice president of China. And so he...
Yeah, quickly ascends.
Yeah. And it's interesting. It's interesting when you look at his story because
When 2009, he was vice president? To who?
2008, he became vice president of China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me see who the president of China was. Hu Jintao.
Okay.
Yeah, and he was there from 2004 to 2012. He was the president. So they had 5-year term limits.
I think that's something that is difficult because, we've done an episode about Vlad. We've done an episode, and now we've talked about Xi Jinping, and they're older guys.
Yeah.
And same thing with like Netanyahu. It's like these are older guys who are kind of doing sketchy stuff.
Yeah.
And it seems like because they're older dudes who have enormous control over their systems of government, that they've been in control for a long time. But it's really only been the past, for Vladimir, it's only been the last 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which relative to,
Yeah.
It's interesting.
We said the same thing in that episode. It just feels like these people have been there forever.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But they haven't.
But they have not.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Even though technically Xi's been in government since the 80s, but he's been in low levels of government. I think it's just kind of the impression that like, oh, this stuff boiled over decades. Yeah.
And that's where, this person was working in the shadows for decades, and then that's how they've accumulated this force. And I don't think a lot of people realize how fast this person gets in charge. And then all of a sudden they've changed so much where like they really can't get out of charge.
Yeah. And it's interesting because a lot of these things like this is a person who had power, but he didn't have a lot of power.
Uh-huh.
And he had these ideals this whole time.
So how did he become general secretary?
So
So I'm glad you asked, because that's the important part. So in 2012, here's what happened.
So 2008.
2008,
he was named vice president.
He was named vice president.
And his first job.
His first job. His first job. Was, let me see if I can find the title of his first. You know what? It doesn't matter.
That's growth. The growth goblins over here. So he had 2 very significant things that happened during his vice presidency. The first thing was his first assignment he got as vice president. And so the first assignment he got was the Beijing Olympics. And they're like, you need to make the Olympics happen really good. And so he took over that role. Beijing Olympics happened, and they're a big success. They shone a light on China as like, hey, China's not like poor anymore. That was kind of the idea. It was like, we got to show the world that we're a part of it now. And the CCP really appreciated the work he did for China.
Look how normal we are.
Yeah, look how normal we are. Also, look how like advanced we are and successful we are.
Yeah,
like it was kind of like we're back, baby. Was what the Beijing Olympics was for them. He also, after the global financial crisis, he went on this tour basically to be like, hey, the financial crisis was your fault. We're cleaning it up. And so he went on this tour in all these different nations. And there's this quote he gave during a big international summit in Mexico. This is an interesting line. He says, the greatest contribution towards the whole of human race was made by China to prevent 1.37 billion people from hunger. And then he went on to say, There are some bored foreigners with full stomachs who have nothing better to do than point fingers at us. He said, first, China doesn't export revolution. Second, China doesn't export hunger and poverty. Third, China doesn't come and cause you headaches. What more is there to be said? And so he basically was like, hey, we're cleaning up the global recession. And also it's all of the West's fault, is like what he was saying. Because they are super rich and making everything harder for the rest of us. And the CCP loved him for that. So these two things became a thing where he got catapulted in popularity in the CCP. And it was really left him and one other guy were the top of this Politburo at the end of that presidential term, President Hu Jintao's, which was 2012. What is very interesting.
And how do they pick leaders?
So there is an election, but the election is by the Politburo. So there's the 9 members of the top of the Politburo. And then there is like a 2,000 member Congress of sorts. And they vote on those 9 positions.
Sure.
It's a closed door vote. Nobody knows who's been selected. There's no campaign. There's nothing like that.
It's like the Pope.
How you find out is the day that it happens, there's this big party and then the doors open and then the 9 people walk out. The first person is the chair or the general secretary. And so those 2,000 people vote for it. And so there was these 2 people that everyone's like, oh, it's going to be one of these 2 that's going to end up being the new general secretary. And it was Xi Jinping and one other guy. What's really interesting is 14 days before...
What's really interesting...
Sorry, those are the fleas.
What's really interesting...
What's really interesting is there 14 days before the big celebration where they were going to announce everybody. Nobody knows who's been selected. Nobody knows. I don't even know if anyone has been selected. This time. 14 days before, Xi Jinping disappears. Nobody can find him. He starts missing a bunch of meetings. The official statement that comes out is that he had a sports injury. And so he was out of commission for 14 days.
Oh, yeah. He tore an ACL. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. Hey. Don't worry about that.
And coincidentally, within those...
There are 6 hurdles. Hunger, thought, life, food. Hunger.
It's labor.
Fleas. Sports injury.
And hammies.
Okay. Hunger, food. All right.
So he's gone. And coincidentally, while he's gone on his sports injury, the other guy also disappears. And he has been gone from government ever since. He's just gone. And then that big celebration happens and the doors open.
So basically, they both got taken, put into a warehouse, and then someone was like, one of you is going to be in charge. We need both of you to pledge your allegiance to us. And the other guy was like, I'm not going to do that. Okay. Never heard from again. And it took Xi Jinping 2 weeks to be like, fine, I'll be your guy.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay.
I don't know if that's what's happened. I don't know. Like, there's conspiracy theories.
I know that's what happened.
There's conspiracy theories that something like that happened. There's conspiracy theories that Xi killed him. There's conspiracy theory. Like,
put this on Chinese YouTube,
there's
dude.
All sorts of conspiracy theories out there. But the official statement is that Xi had a sports
straight
injury.
Up disappeared. Never seen.
Xi had a sports industry injury. The other guy was corrupt and was banished from the government because of corruption.
But like never seen again.
I don't know if he was never seen from again. He was banished from government. I know that for sure. I know that he was disappeared from government is the phrase that I've seen.
Okay.
Disappeared from government. And then this big event happens and the doors open and Xi walks out in front. And everyone's like, oh, that's the guy that's been gone for 14 days with his sports injury. Walking really well for a guy who has turf toe.
Yeah.
And he's now the leader of the country. Almost.
How long do they have terms?
They have 5-year term limits. Yeah. And so.
Right. So we're going to get to the part where he's not gone.
Well, 2012 was the beginning of his first term. And then 2018 was the end of his first term. And so then
Yeah, run it through. What are you talking about?
2018 was the beginning.
How many
of the second
terms can
term.
you do?
2. There's a 2-term limit. So 2023 was the end of his second term.
So let's rewind back to where I said, okay, now we get to the part where he doesn't leave. Am I crazy?
Okay, anyways, so he almost
Well,
well,
they do 5-year terms. Okay. Yeah, and then two 5-year terms. So, I mean, 2012 plus 5, 2018, obviously, because you're dumb. 12 plus 5 is 18.
We don't have to sit here any longer than we got a lot.
Oh,
to
you don't want to do this anymore? We got a lot to cover. Huh?
I came up with a 7th trial. Math.
Food, labor, thought, life, fleas, sports injury, math,
Thinking about numbers.
basic addition, first grade math.
Really easy addition.
12 plus 5.
No.
is
Okay, let me.
18.
18 was when when the second term began. So it ended in the 17. They had the election. 18 was the beginning of the next term. Anyways, shut up. I don't have to justify myself to you. Look, I made a mistake. It's whatever. Fine. Okay. Okay. So he almost immediately goes on this anti-corruption campaign,
Of course.
just removing people from government positions that are corrupt. And
Yes.
the corruption is interesting because there's no explanation to the corruption.
Right?
These people are demoted, fired, disappeared. Disappeared is probably not a good word. Like banished into like countryside and worst level positions. Then the official number that we have throughout this corruption campaign in this first term is 200,000 government employees
Holy
were
cow.
corrupt in some way.
Yep.
Corrupt. And so he then reorganizes in the middle of that term. This 9-member Politburo changes, and there's people in there that are corrupt that he ousts and replaces with people who are not corrupt, who coincidentally
Yeah.
agree with everything he says
Of course.
and think everything he says is right. And so slowly but surely through the course of this 5-year term, he takes away a lot of...
This is his first 5-year term?
Yes.
Yeah.
He removes a lot of the barriers that spread the power between these 9 members of
Right.
the Politburo and consolidates them to him. And then in 2017, he goes to the Politburo, the big one, the 2,000-member Politburo, and he brings a new resolution to them. And the new resolution is, I think presidents should be able to not have term limits. And they were like, we agree, unanimous. We all agree. There should be no term limits. You know what? Now that you say that,
We like what you just said.
I think it's great that...
You haven't watched What We Do in the Shadows?
No.
There's a storyline in it where he has a genie and he brings back, he had 37 wives in his, because he's a vampire, he's lived forever. If you don't know what We Do in the Shadows is, it's like an Office style show, but it follows these 3 vampires. And so it's a mockumentary, but it's vampires.
There's vampires, yeah.
And they've lived for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And it's very inappropriate. I'm not suggesting you watch it, especially because we're a family-friendly show. But like, if you're fine with inappropriate stuff, there's some very funny elements of it where he brings back one of his wives because he rubs a genie lamp, and then he's like, "I want that wife back," and he goes, I want this wife to agree with me all the time. And then for the next 6 episodes, it's just her being like, whatever you like, I like. And he is eventually like, I hate her. Because he's just like, she does everything I like, she likes. We never disagree. He goes, this is great. We never disagree. She's wonderful. It's very funny. It's a good little tiny storyline in the thing.
Yep.
But that's what happens. You just surround yourself with people. If you can surround yourself with enough people who are like, yes.
Yes.
Because their thought is that eventually they'll be the one in charge.
Yes.
What is the reason that they're doing it is not because they're such a big fan of you.
Yep.
They think that they could one day be in the position.
Yep. And it's also they're also saying,
what did I say? I said this at the beginning.
Is that right?
I said no one tries to talk to me until we record. Yeah. She knows what I'm doing. It's on my calendar.
Look at the calendar before you call me.
I don't talk to my wife like that. And
Sorry.
you shouldn't even joke
Please,
like that.
please look at the calendar before you
I don't say that to her either.
Please listen. Here's the deal. If you don't look at the calendar before you call me, I'm going to leave you. Is that what
No,
you do?
I say, hey, calendar, use. You got to keep it. That's terrible. Alex, don't write that down. Alex is like, this isn't funny.
Not a funny joke.
Well, our favorite thing to do when me and Tim will be in here, because this is our best friend time. We're talking. We'll be like, man, this is a really frustrating thing right there. Or here's something that me and my wife fought about. And then we'll look at Alex. We'll go, you ever fight with your wife like that? And Alex goes, no. Then we go, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. We
Cool.
suck.
Cool.
Go, 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 go.
So Alex's marriage is perfect, and ours are fine.
Hey, thanks for listening to Things I Learned Last Night. It would do us a huge favor if you could just share this episode with somebody or just share the show. Tell someone you like it. That helps us grow the show. Another way to help us grow the show is to sport our merch, which is actually super comfy. We changed to a new merch supplier a couple years ago called Fourth Wall. You can buy our stuff at shop.tilln.com. None of this is a pressure, by the way, but it just really does help us grow the show, and it helps get the word out. And people ask me about my hoodie in the airport all the time. So they're really comfy. Would love for you to support the show. And either way, thanks for being here. We're glad that we get to do this podcast.
Someone did bring
Which is why.
Someone said that during the Family Feud bit that we did, someone commented in Patreon, and they were like, I like that Jaron and Tim were like, oh, let's all go on Family Feud, and neither of them were like, we should bring our wives. We were just like, man, what other white guys could we bring on Family Feud with us, huh? Let's call the other two white guy podcasters. We couldn't even think to shake it up.
That's
no gender diversity, and we couldn't even invite Shama. We were just like, I'm closer with Shama than I am with those guys.
White dudes.
And I was like, wow, we need to make a team of podcasters. It's you, me, Alex. Who else do we know?
The whitest kids we know.
Who else could we bring on this?
Oh my gosh, our wives?
No,
not them.
The ninjas are butterflies, guys.
Our actual families? No. That's good. I appreciate that. So
I was just saying, she was calling me.
Yeah.
Call her back after this.
Sounds good.
I love my wife. She's great.
Yeah. Cool. In 2018.
I love my wife. I love her. I love her.
I love her so much. In 2018, they have their big celebration.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we got to the new Politburo, guys.
Guys, unanimous vote.
Doors open. Xi Jinping's in the lead.
Right.
And everybody knows when they see him. Everybody expects it because of that, because the way the government had been working.
2,000 people?
Yeah. Because the way it had been working before, and because that they eliminated term limits, everyone kind of expected it. But to see him walking out is like, oh, hey, this guy's going to be president until he dies now. And it was kind of confirmed in that moment.
Right.
And so this next term was a very interesting term because this is when it kind of ratcheted up pretty strongly. And so obviously you still have the anti-corruption campaigns happening. Anytime anybody does anything that the government thinks is corrupt, they are ousted in some way.
Right.
The government took over, like the press doesn't exist. Anything and everything where anybody could have any sort of ability to say anything publicly, the government could come in and be like, no, that's corruption. And you could be removed from whatever post you're in or banished out to a different side of the country or imprisoned or things like that. And so that whole thing got continued. But censorship became a big thing in 2016.
Right.
And so the government, they created their own media, and they brought together all the news, and all the public media is all government owned, and they began pumping out propaganda. They also employed this group of IT professionals whose entire job is just internet censorship.
Yeah.
And so they control what is broadcast through the internet to the people of China. And so vast majorities of the internet are not accessible. And these people, it's very interesting. They spend hours and hours and hours a day just looking at posts on the Chinese internet and finding these things that are, for lack of a better term, like dog whistles for anti-communist propaganda or anti-communist thought. And so then they find those and they block any of those things. And what is interesting, in 2019, they created this new, I guess, law where they call it the Internet Real Name System. And so every person on the internet, they have
their real name attached to their account.
The way we have IP addresses, they have this code that links to them, that links to their actual identification.
And what they're doing
anything
online.
You do online is traceable back to you personally. Oof. And so all of your devices have to have that ID attached to them. And anything you do will be linked back to you. And so whenever those censorship arms find these things that are the anti-communist thought, they then trace that back to whoever it was, imprison that person.
Yeah.
And
stuff like this is like all like where people in America are like, oh, this is all fear mongering for us. Like that could never happen here.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to say earlier, like with how fast that takeover happened.
Yeah.
Like it could, I'm not trying to say like, oh, this administration is doing it. Like I'm saying it could happen here like that.
Yeah, it could happen anywhere. And it's significant to say because this government
I think that's where I think is what's frustrating about the current moment that we're in is that any kind of stuff that's leaning that way where you go, hey, that's going that direction.
Yeah.
People will go, oh, you're just falling into the hating the two party stuff or whatever. Like if this side's saying it, that means it's this side is completely right. And it's just like, guys, that infighting is going to lead us straight there.
Yep. Yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff. And that's the thing is similar to Russia. This, I mean, honestly, even more so than Russia did. China, when Xi Jinping took over, had a distribution of power.
Right.
And like this was not something that anybody thought was possible.
Centralized,
yeah. And this was something where slowly but surely he chipped away at that separation of powers and consolidated it. And now he's got absolute power.
Right.
And so under this second term, he went and he reformed the military when he took over. I think there was 200,000 soldiers. He upped that number up to 2 million. And he drastically increased the military spending budget to now they're the second largest military on earth. And so he was like, we need to be
only
strong.
Behind us, the USA. That's right. Because
so changes a bunch of the laws. Honestly, just completely changes the entire.
I'm not going to crash out of the podcast. Let's keep going. Yeah,
changes the fabric of the entire country.
I thought about crashing out for a second, but I didn't.
Hey, that's growth.
We'll crash out and then after the fiddle.
Heck yeah! Completely changes the fabric of the entire government during the second term. But what was the most significant part through the second term is he began building this cult of personality, very similar to what Mao had, and it's called Xi Jinping thought. And Xi Jinping thought. This is why I think he was the one who came up with those 5 trials.
Okay.
Because Xi Jinping thought is very much that mentality. Because
just such a Gen X coded, like, you've got to overcome these things, and I'm going to make sure everyone goes through them.
So he literally has it broken out. Xi Jinping thought is just 10 affirmations, 14 commitments, 13 areas of achievement, 6 musts, and then a worldview and a methodology.
Oh my gosh.
And he has all these books. I think he's got 6 books that he wrote of his thought of how he thinks the world should work and how everybody should think and how the economy should be and all this different stuff.
Yeah.
And how everybody should behave in a good society.
It's just Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules of Life book.
Essentially, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But what's so interesting, I didn't know this until researching for this, he basically built this app, and it's basically Duolingo for Xi Jinping thought, and it's tied to your ID. Everybody has to do it every day. You have to log time in it every day that you're practicing your Xi Jinping thought, and it's your daily devotionals where you go through.
That's crazy.
And there's courses and there's exercises. There's
quizzes. They're conditioning a cult. They're conditioning oh my god.
Where it's like you're clearly a part of this. You're learning these things. You're adopting these things, and you're
how
understanding
much stuff is people will fight back and push back against this stuff. Like when if I make a clip of this and put it online, I know for sure the bot comments are going to be like, "Oh, this is misinformation. That doesn't actually happen. You guys are just fear mongering China."
Yeah. Well, yeah, they have bot farms that go out and do propaganda worldwide to try to make them seem better than they are. And I think that's one of the really interesting things about this. And
did you see his military parade?
Yeah.
It's probably one of the funniest videos I've seen this year. He's riding and his arms are in the car. So it's just like, he looks like one of those little whack-a-mole games where he's just on the top of the car. And then he's saying stuff. He's saying stuff like, I don't know, soldiers? And they all go, yes. Like, yeah, you gotta pull up the video. Have you seen this video, Alex? It's worth it. Let's put a clip of it in the episode. You got it?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll have to find out.
All right. This is so funny because the microphones are on the car.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
All right, let me make sure we got some sound. I mean, this is just we don't need sound because this is just gonna be the news report.
I do want sound.
Talking over it.
No.
Okay. Well, you're not gonna
show us the video.
Okay, here we go. Are we getting it?
It's so... And he just looks bored to be there the whole time. Just soldiers. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, he didn't try to look triumphant. He didn't try to look like a strong man. He literally looked tired to be there. Like, he's just standing out at the top of the car with 4 microphones and he's just like, he's doing their chants back and forth, their call and responses. And he's just like, soldiers. Yes.
I don't know if we got any other shots of that with the car. Yeah, because then he gets out. This is an 8-hour news broadcast from this. It's crazy. Well, it's interesting because there are a lot of weapons that they had in there that we did not know they had, or at least maybe our military knew.
Yep, found it by Googling it, dude.
Oh my God!
By just putting it on TikTok. Here's some sound. And he just, I'm going to send you this. He looks so bored.
Yeah.
Someone else is yelling and then... Look, he looks like he's mad that he has to read his lines. He looks like an NFL player at the end of a loss. Who's in front of the news cameras, where he's just like, you know why I'm here.
You know, yeah.
Like, that's what that
I've
energy
gotta be
is.
Here. We didn't play well.
I'll send this to you so you can send it to that guy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so yeah, they were for the military. And I think that's what's really interesting.
You got nervous. You don't want to make fun of Xi Jinping too much? Because I'm like, look at this. Isn't this really dumb that he's just like saying, hello, greeting comrades.
It's really dumb. I didn't know.
How are you doing, soldiers?
I don't know when I was going to bring this.
He literally looks like it looks like if I came, you know what? I'm happy to be here. That's all it takes. He looks like he's in this thing against his will. He looks like he's dead. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to my parade. War.
Dun, dun, dun. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Don't say that. Put that guy in the camps. It's a trap. It's a trap. Whoa! Dun, dun, dun. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Kill that guy. He's just setting you up. You gotta yell. It holds our civilization together. We have to have a giant military because we're so financially compromised that other companies can take us over because of our debt to them. But because if we have a stronger military, we can defend ourselves. But because we haven't done fiscal responsibility, we can be easily manipulated and controlled based on the amount of money that we owe them.
Dun, 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 dun.
What is it good for? Protecting our liabilities.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was that too much?
Yeah.
Too much to put in the family-friendly podcast?
What was really interesting is, and this is kind of, I think this is what you get in a lot of societies in the world, this system, there is the people on the in. This is working very, very good for.
Of course.
And so this kind of back to what you were saying about the bots who are like, oh, this is misinformation. This isn't true. There are people who live at the top of Chinese society and they are living a great lifestyle. You see those videos come out of China with like the super futuristic cities where things are really safe and everything is like very clean. The people who live in those areas, like they're living lifestyles that honestly are probably better than what we have here, with the exception of the freedom thing. But their like day-to-day lifestyle is probably at the minimum comparable, if not better than our day-to-day lifestyle here. But if you're on the outs, there is this gap that is monumental. And there are, for example, you might have heard of the Uyghur population,
right?
This Muslim population in Eastern China that has been subjugated since the beginning of
they're doing like legitimate atrocities and genocides.
Like legitimate genocide, just because these people are the Uyghur population. There's no other reason for it. And so there are people on the outside that are living through just completely terrible conditions. And I think this is true in a lot of societies. In China, I think it's pretty is polarized pretty strongly, where there are people that are living incredibly
well, and that's what I mean whenever like I kind of joke about how we're in a dictatorship of technocrats, but that growing wealth inequality. Now, the whole thing in the United States is that we still cling to the myth of mobility.
Yeah.
That, you could essentially win the lottery by starting a good company that then shoots you to that thing, right? There's all kinds of things in the way of that, but we still cling to that, like, oh, some people still shoot the gap, so it's possible, so we don't have as big a problem with it.
Yeah.
But that gap is widening at an alarming rate. And not just like it's widening. It's like, guys, you got to look at these numbers. It is widening at an alarming rate. That we're not, like, the people down here are not to the conditions of what you're talking about in China yet.
China's got this canyon, this divide between them. There is a growing gap in the States, but it's nothing compared to what China has.
Nothing compared to that yet.
But there is.
But it could.
There are early signs that
if we don't stop it.
Yeah. That's definitely true. And so, to your point,
because you talked about like, eventually with if now I don't think AI is actually going to do what they predict it's going to do. That's kind of the whole thing as well.
Yeah.
But if it were to put 40% of people out of jobs the way that they predicted it would. And you were like, well, they're going to have to do universal basic income. They're not going to.
Yeah.
Not to burst that bubble for you. They're not going to set up a system where we all get checks each month and they're going to let you be poor.
They're just going to let you starve.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care.
And you're like, no, they wouldn't do that. They're already doing it. We currently living in the United States live in the rich neighborhood, and people who live in Mexico don't. People who live in the African countries that we're exploiting for a lot of our resources don't live in the good neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they'll just move that here, where then this state or this area, this region will be the good neighborhood, and then you will live where you live.
Bad place.
Yeah. Not
true.
Sorry to get depressing, but like I think that's with the and again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, capitalism's bad, but I'm saying this myth of mobility that we bought into so much has kind of eased our movement into that gigantic gap. The problem is that the people on the other end of the gap are not the government, which could be, in theory, overthrown or restructured. They're the rich, and it's like we can't overthrow. Like,
I think the moral of the story here is, for decades in this country, the headline is communist is bad, capitalist is good.
Right.
And that's why you see this difference.
And that's really, what our message is communism's good.
No. The system itself, it doesn't really matter the system. It's who's in charge.
I need people to know that I'm joking. Like, that's I feel like there's some people who are like, wow, Jaron's really falling off. No, chill out. Let Tim make his point.
The system itself doesn't really matter. What matters is who's at the top. And greed 100% of the time.
Systems will be corrupted every time, depending on what,
Yeah. who's in charge? Are they corrupting the system? And ultimately too is like, how much are they corrupting the system? Because before Xi Jinping took over and they had this distribution of power, there was a lot of people who were in charge of different things that were corrupt. Like there were multiple stories of corruption and people being removed from power who were embezzling funds and doing things similar to what we have had it throughout the United States history. Xi Jinping turned over and he ratcheted up corruption to a completely insane level. But it's just like, how corrupt is that person in charge and how far are they willing to take it?
Right.
I think we kind of follow this myth that it's like, oh, it's the system that's the problem. It's not the person who's abusing the system.
Right.
And so,
not that we're trying to justify communism.
yeah, I don't think whatever.
We can talk about it in the after the fiddle, I guess.
Yeah. But all that to say, he is now in the middle of his third term, which wasn't something that you could do before. There's no sign of him ever having an end to the term.
77?
What did I say? He was born in 53,
72?
did I say? Hold on, let's see. He was born in 53. So
he's 72?
Yeah. So he's probably going to be in power until he dies. He has radically changed the government. Everybody else who's in control. Did you just text me?
I texted you the link to the video.
Oh, it just came through. I was like, when did you? Okay. So he's probably not going to leave his position until he dies. What is really interesting though is he has completely reformed China.
Yeah.
And so even when he removes from power,
yes,
the next man up
can't undo the corruption.
Well, the next man
that
up
system.
probably won't want to. The next man up is in his thought. They've been doing Duolingo for Xi Jinping brain every day. And so the odds of it being someone who's a dissenter is pretty low to begin with. But even if it is a drastic overhaul of what he's built to undo it. Yeah. And so it's probably not going to change. All that being said, the things he has done has turned China from a third world country to at least major portions of the country, a first world country, which is pretty insane. And it's crazy how that works. If you're just corrupt and you just kind of do whatever you want and bend the country to your will, you can make the country pretty rich. It's pretty crazy.
Well, this has been an encouraging time. We appreciate you hanging out for Things I Learned Last Night. Our next episode is our 300th episode. And we promise it'll be a joy-filled, fun time. So we'll see you next week.
He doesn't know what we're talking about.
So, okay, now we're in the after the fiddle here. Sorry, fiddle off. 300 episodes, can't figure out how to end one.
Hey, thanks for checking out this episode. If you like it, you should watch Vladimir Putin. We talked all about his rise to power, so if you liked finding out how Xi Jinping became his dictator, find out how Russia got a dictator. It was a great episode. Really, honestly, crazy story. And hey, if you want to see next week's episode right now, you can do that on Patreon by becoming a Patreon supporter. We love our patrons. Thank you so much for your help in making this podcast happen. But we'll see you next week on another episode of Things I Learned Last Night. 300, episode 300 next week. That's exciting.